Hello, I'm Chloe Bitters. In news across West Tennessee today, it's been a subject of radio talk shows and news headlines. Some say it will chart the future of education in Jackson, and the future of the current superintendent could hang in the balance. Tonight, the Jackson-Madison County School Board considers major agenda issues. Madeline Fleming tells us the board chairman threw a new wrinkle yesterday.
This may well be a night to remember. The Jackson-Madison County School Board will consider proposals that may total more than $50 million. The last week has been full of tension between factions on the board and confusion in the community as to the urgency of such an ambitious agenda. This morning, the Jackson Sun reported School Superintendent Eric Jones has made revisions in his 10-year plan to try to reach a compromise with some board members. Those include new chairman Kevin Alexander. Here is a sample of the revisions: building a new middle school on the old Jackson Central Mary campus and returning a high school to a portion of the JCM building. Move Early College High to the JCM West Side. The renovated building would open in 2020. Build a workforce development center on an alternate location. Jones told the Sun he thinks this will be a better plan and allow the board to move forward without tensions. Yesterday, board chairman Kevin Alexander issued a statement defending his ambitious agenda.
As to the question of urgency, in my interaction with county commissioners, I believe that many would support additional capital funding for our schools if considered at the same time as the upcoming request for additional jail funding. It now has been announced that the additional jail funding request of $17 million will be voted upon at the next county commission meeting October 15th. Approval of these funds would mean the jail addition would cost $49.4 million and school capital funding will total $17.5 million per recent bond issues.
This will be Alexander's first meeting as chair. In 28 years of a consolidated school district, no observer could remember a first-night chairman attempting to pass so many items. After the superintendent's revisions, the question is whether some of these items will be dropped. Madeline Fleming, West Tennessee Today.
If you can't be there in person, we'll have it for you on Facebook Live at West Tennessee Today. News Director Steve Beverly will anchor our coverage. We'll be live at 5:20 on Facebook. At 5:30, the meeting begins. One item that Brent Lay says was not in the Alexander Lay plan is a proposal for a new elementary school. Reaction has been mixed to the idea of placing the new school on an existing campus. With those details is Campbell Paget.
New board member Doris Black told a group of parents at a meeting Tuesday night that she is fully behind Superintendent Eric Jones's 10-year plan for schools, but she says she wants to have a discussion about the use of Northside High School to reduce overcrowding at Thelma Barker Elementary School. Black says she estimates enough unused space at Northside High could make room for 400 elementary-aged children. One leading psychologist says before you combine kids and teens on one campus, you need to have a dialogue with a variety of people.
It's not just an education process for our kids and for our teachers, but it's an education process for our communities.
In most instances, this would be an idea for discussion, but Black's proposal has been entered into the agenda as a measure for a vote. We'll see whether that holds up at tonight's board meeting. Campbell Paget, West Tennessee Today.
Tennessee's two candidates for governor have avoided ugly campaigning so far. They stuck to issues in this week's debate in Nashville. One of them has agreed to an interview with West Tennessee Today. The two candidates maintained a cordial atmosphere in their debate, but they strongly differ on how to handle the state's health care mess. Dean is a strong advocate of expanding Medicaid and said the state has lost $4 billion because of the legislature opposed it. Lee said to continue to take more money from the federal government only feeds a broken system. He says we can't sustain costs that are out of control.
Several years now, the legislature has not allowed Medicaid expansion to take place, but has come up with no idea, no suggestion, no program to replace it.
Our health care system is broken. I think we addressing the rising cost of health care is absolutely imperative.
Lee continues to lead in the polls, but Dean is campaigning hard in West Tennessee. He has agreed to a one-on-one interview with West Tennessee Today News Director Steve Beverly on Monday. We'll bring you the full interview on Facebook Live at West Tennessee Today at 5 o'clock Monday. Nearly 15 years ago, Jackson Police Sergeant Andy Bailey was killed in the line of duty. The same grief has flooded Florence, South Carolina today, as 7 police officers were shot and 1 killed during a tragic night on the Carolina coast. Valerie Brewer reports.
This is a day people in the city near Myrtle Beach will never forget. 7 law enforcement officers were shot while attempting to serve a warrant. One of them died. The man they were after was holding children hostage inside of a home in an upscale neighborhood. The fatally wounded officer was 52-year-old Terrence Calloway, a 30-year veteran.
3 of our deputies were shot. The suspect continued to fire on other officers who responded to the scene to render aid to the wounded.
Today we lost a good friend of mine, an officer that I've known for 30 years.
The man was finally captured and the children were not harmed. It's the second fatal shooting of a police officer in South Carolina this year. Valerie Brewer, West Tennessee Today.
In a small town across the state, the nights are scary, especially in wooded areas. Authorities are searching for a man who was wanted for 2 murders and other violent crimes. Neighbors say they can't help but be scared. We'll hear more from Randall Kendrick.
The search for 53-year-old Kirby Wallace is now on its 6th day. It centers in a wooded area of Woodlawn, a small community 2 hours from Jackson near Clarksville. Wallace is wanted for 2 murders and other violent crimes. Debbie Castro is one neighbor who admits to being scared.
I'm so used to not shutting the door, locking it. When I let the dogs out the back, I just let them out and just come back in. But now I have to lock everything. It's a nuisance.
SWAT units and K-9 teams are hoping to end the nightmare soon. In the meantime, people are being told to take extreme caution wherever they go. Randall Kendrick, West Tennessee Today.
Researchers are emphasizing the problem of teen sleep. Their conclusion, most don't get nearly enough. That can lead to serious consequences. Ashley Green has more in this Health Hotline report.
Teenagers who don't get enough sleep are more likely to engage in risky behavior. That's what a new study tells us. Researchers examined surveys filled out by more than 67,000 high school students over an 8-year period. Teens in the survey who slept less than 6 hours a night were twice as likely to use alcohol, drive after drinking, smoke, or use marijuana and other drugs. That's in comparison to their peers who slept 8 hours. They were also twice as likely to carry a weapon or be in a fight. But the strongest outcome of sleeping less than 6 hours was self-harm. Teens in that category were 3 times as likely to attempt suicide at some point. The author of the research says lack of sleep causes multiple public health concerns, including mental illness, substance abuse, and car crashes. Ashley Green with your Health Hotline report.
That's our look at news across West Tennessee. I'm Chloe Bitters. We hope wherever you go, you have a great day in West Tennessee Today.